Hey, so what's it about this time? Well, it's all about a GK-5 divided pickup that Roland Boss will tell you is going to change the world. If you've been following the series to do with guitar synthesizers, this one's the GM800 that uses a GK-5 pickup, and I've got one down there called a SY1000. There's a whole series linked down from below about those two devices, and this particular video is all about fitting a GK-5, which I've got on the table in front of me, bits and pieces all over the place, that we're going to fit into a, well, it's a Tokai Les Paul, but we could call it a Gibson Les Paul because it's about as near as you could ever get. Even the headstock's sort of, well, the same. So, yeah, I'll run through the bits we've got in the kit. This will be involved at some stage through the fitting, which you'll get to see. And by the time we finish this video, you'll know how to fit a GK-5 and set it all up on a GM800 or something similar. Yeah. Okay, well, what does the GK-5 comprise of? Well, it comes in its little box, like you've seen. I'm not going to spend time on that. And it comprises of like a clamp. You're going to see these close up on screen as I'm going. So this clamp actually is a mount for the GK-5 pickup itself. You've got a bunch of screws and a couple of springs that are also included. You've got a special bracket for Gibson type of products, and you've got some spacers and sort of glued together pieces. Well, I won't bore you too much with them until we see them. And of course you've got the instructions, and you've also got some little stickers and things that can point you to, well, to Boss, yeah, to their website, so that you can simply, well, get on with it. And that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to go and pull down the guitar and show you how to fit this darn thing. And I've never fitted one either, so here we go. So this is the donor guitar, and as you can see, it's pretty much like a Les Paul. It's about as near as you can get. This one's got active pickups on it. I wouldn't hold it against it because it does sound quite good. And there's a bit of a shot for the headstock, so you get the idea. If you've got a Les Paul or something very, very similar like this one, you're in business. Okay, well, I am going to be taking you through this installation, literally, as I do it. And I've never fitted a GK-5 to a Les Paul before, so yeah, we're doing it together, and I doubt it'll be that hard, but well, if there are any problems I come across, well, you might come across them, and that's a great thing. So, yeah, I think we'll get down to it. Okay, well, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to take the pickup itself, this chunk here, and take this pickup ring, and then use these screws and the rest of it to mount that onto there. Nice and simple. I'm going to go and do it, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay, well, as you can see, there it is, screwed onto the back plate, and that's the right way round. Okay, so this cable comes off at this end. Well, next thing on the agenda is you've got to take off the strings and take off these bits and pieces so we can get on. I'm going to go and do that, and I'll be back. And yours should look something like that when it's all been done. Yeah, where have they all gone? Oh my God. Now what you've got to do is take these and take them down 2 millimeters. Now you might say to me, well, Tony, that's all well and good, but what the hell's 2 mil? I haven't got a ruler, man. Well, the 2 mil, yeah, it's to compensate. The 2 mil is to compensate for this thing here, and you've got to take it down. That is that by the thickness of this, which is actually 2 mil. So I'm going to go and do that. Now I've just rested the pickup on there for now. It's just sitting loose, and what you do is you fit your strings back on and the rest of it. with the bridge fitted on the top 2 pins, where they were before in fact. So I'm going to go and do that, and then it starts getting a bit easier to figure out. And just bear in mind when we're fitting the pickup itself onto that plate, you do have these other things here that can adjust the height of that pickup on the plate. That's an important aspect too. Now when you've got this right, you have to set that pickup on its plate just 1 mil lower than where the strings are. So in a nutshell, you are going to have a bit of jiggery pokery with this, getting this to the right heights and things like that, up and down. Yeah, it is important to get it right, so I'll show you what I did after I did it. That's the best answer. And the real trick is that you have to get 1 mil clearance from this pickup to the strings. Now it can be fiddly, faffing around with all these spacers, all this stuff underneath. But take your time and get it right, or get it as near as you can. Don't forget 1 mil clearance when you've got the spacer on. I'm going to go and do that. Okay, so I just want to show you the final thing I did, because I did spend a bit of time faffing around with this, and you will too. So you can see I've actually got one of the thinner ones across the bottom, and then above that I've actually got, you get a rubber one that's got it's got holes for these 2 screws. Well, you can't see that one, but don't worry, there's one the other end, as you'll probably know. I fitted the rubber one nearest the pickup and the solid one on the bottom, and just with those 2 it works pretty much fine to me. But when I used the thick one, actually this was higher than the top of the bridge, so that couldn't clearly work. So what I'm going to do is have a go with this one, see how we go, and if I've got to make adjustments, I'll have to take it back off again and make some more adjustments. That's just life, and that's what you're going to end up doing no matter what. Just bear that in mind, won't you? Okay, now then, you should be able to see that there's really not much gap between these strings and the GK pickup, GK-5 pickup. It's adjustable backwards and forwards. You can sort of move it from side to side and move it backwards and forwards, so to speak, which isn't in itself that difficult. But getting that pickup height with the spacers in the first place is a bit of a, well, it's a bit of a pain, and it takes a little bit of getting right. And would I say this is perfect? Well, no, I wouldn't, but I'm not going to keep going backwards and forwards forever, faffing around with it. And I think from experience of the other ones that I've fitted, that this should actually be okay. Strings are on, they're not in tune, but they will be in a short while. Okay, well, as you can see, the next component to fit is this thing. Yeah, it's got a few screws and things on the back. None of it's rocket science. But one of the first things you've got to do is to use screws internally here to screw the pickup on the back. You can see the holes there that we're going to use to screw that on. And by the way, you do actually use these little angled ones, or sunken in screws, or call them what you will, and then what you use. So I'm going to do that. And there's the pickup fitted to the holder. I use this screw down here and this one here. Okay, so you can see it's parallel. You've got this the other side, and all that other good stuff. Okay, on this guitar we need to remove this strap end pin, and then we can fit the bracket on. So I'm going to remove that now. Now there can be a fair way to unscrew this when you're fitting it. What you do is slacken that side screw off there and then unscrew from the top until this clamps around your guitar. Now it can take a little bit of getting right, but just take your time and you'll be fine. Now do make sure on that pin that goes into the side, this one, that it is all lined up very nicely, and you haven't got that thing too tight before you put the back pin in, and then we can just tighten it up afterwards. Well, there you go. You can see a nice shot of the thing fitted. It's flush across the top, It's good round the back. This has been clamped up. This is tight. And this one's just been nipped up to stop things moving around. It should all be good. Yeah. We're going to do some more work now in actually setting up the pickup, the height and the tracking and the rest of it. So we're going to go and do that. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend a long time doing this. I'm just going to show you quickly. I'm not even going to capture the screen properly. I'm just going to show you very quickly. You need to come into this thing and choose these. Choose GK-5 here, if it's a GK-5 you've installed, or a GK-5B for bass, as a bass one. And this by default is on reverse. And when it's on reverse, it's particularly nasty. It needs to be on normal. And the other thing I found was on this setting 2, you can see here, these are all set to 80. Now I did try these at different volumes, but you can see when I choose one, this is the sort of thing you get. So they're all pretty good. And that's my setting, and it seems to work pretty good. But you do need to make sure that these are set as what they should be. Like I've got there now, you can change various things. I've got everything just as it is. I did write it out. And I did close it. And that's the end of that section. Okay, well, here we are back. And note that I did use the Roland cable. This looks just like a stereo cable, like you could buy anywhere. It's BGK-15, so it's a 15-foot one, I think, if I remember. They're about 40 odd pounds, these damn things. In England, I don't know what they'd be in America, but if you can get them for about 25, shout out. But yeah, I connected that. And I showed you quickly just what I did to get the thing working in the first place. And yeah, it's all good. Now, if you haven't seen the series that I'm producing for the GM800 and the SY1000 down there, hop across to it because it's down in the text. And of course, I'll be talking just for a few minutes about the installation of the GK-5 pickup. Later on, I'm going to be showing you the conversion from GK-5 pickup to drive an SY1000. That might be interesting, but that's it in this video. I strongly suggest, as I said, go back down to that other one, and don't forget to subscribe, do that thumbs up thing, and click all for notifications so you get notifications when I do anything. Although you don't have to press all, it's entirely left with you. That's it for now. Yeah, I'm getting back to the other video. I just wanted to show the installation in general, rather than going to the nth degree. Now, Roland do have just while I'm on the subject, Roland do have a video that is really basic, and it doesn't really show you, not even what I did. And I didn't go particularly out of my way to show you every last step, if you get me. You should be able to install that GK-5 from what I've shown you. You might have to pull the bits apart a couple of times, and do check your intonation on the guitar because mine was out a little bit. I had to make a bit of an adjustment on that too. Yeah, so that's it for now. Until next time.